Dari, hello. It's day 7 of our lovely Club La Santa holiday in Lanzarote. And what has happened today? Well, it's been quite an eventful day. And I guess if you want to go with the kind of skiing analogy you might have had when you were in your younger years, always try your hardest on the last day, even if it means you come a crupper and have a slight accident. And that's what I've done. Anyway, I'm still fairly mobile. Let's start with the morning fun, which was the morning aerobic session at 8 a.m. So I participated in the morning aerobic session. Had a great time as usual. It's the same format with different instructors, hundreds of people participating, each of us from our balconies. So we did that, my partner and I, and we had a wonderful time. We followed that off with an 8K trail run. Now, we were split into two groups, a slow group and a fast group. And on the, I started off on the slow group, and the companion who I was running with, she fell over. I was doing nothing, and not even talking to her at that exact moment, thank goodness. It was only her first day here. But I do know how disruptive a fall can be, as I shall explain later in this video. So, we did the 8K trail run, and the next thing was our mountain bike experience. So, you may know that in our family we are road bike specialists, and we would subdivide that into dry weather road bike specialists. So we thought we'd give this mountain biking a go, and since they've got mountain bikes here for hire, we thought we could just take one out, but they do have once a week a tuition lesson. So we tried to book on the first session, which was kind of static. Here's a mountain bike. What do all the levers do, kind of thing, which we didn't think we really needed, and it was on waitlist anyway, so we couldn't join it. So we just started off with the 20-kilometre mountain bike ride with other people who are novices, more or less. I had to use training shoes because I didn't have any cleated pedals apart from my speed play, and speed play are like the worst possible. I mean, you could ruin your speed plays if they get to sand, and the bike shop did say the same to me. They said, "Oh, don't ask us to put your." They said we can do it, but don't ask us to put your speed plays on. We recommend against it because you could quite easily ruin your pedals. So I decided to go with their thought and just use training shoes. So set off on training shoes. Had a decent one-by mountain bike. I didn't even count the gears. I'm sure there were at least 12. And all was going well up to a descent part of the 20k route where I gave it some and just came to a crash. I just crashed, came off, hit myself on the chest and arm. Now, for those of you who don't have bicycle accidents very regularly, and I'm probably in that category, but I do remember having had dozens over the course of my life as primarily a cyclist, let's say, not a runner. The thing about accidents is that you often don't realise if you're injured till later. There's adrenaline happening, and I remember in Lausanne in Switzerland. I remember having one case where somebody on a motorcycle just pulled out in front of me. I went absolutely flying. I was going downhill at the time, and at the time they said, "Are you okay?" And I went, "Well," I said, "I feel okay now, but I don't know in 30 minutes if I'm going to feel okay." And sure enough, in 30 minutes, I wasn't okay. And in this case, I've sustained damage to my chest here, and also my left arm is extremely painful in a certain place. I don't think anything's broken, but it just goes to show that in the heat, I managed another sort of 30 minutes of cycling without thinking anything of it. But now, it's come to pass for the rest of the day during the activities I'm about to outline. I was in kind of quite a lot of pain this afternoon. Anyway, so we finished the mountain biking. I really enjoyed it. We had a great time. I understand how the biggest difference between mountain biking and road cycling is that the mountain bike is kind of loosely connected to the ground over gravel and sand, and in this case volcanic rock. your whole bike can kind of slide and shift, and you have to sort of put that into the equation when you're trying to steer the device. I was purposefully going over rocky areas and really pushing it. I mean, I'd let the others go ahead and then get a gap between me and the people. There was two people right at the back, so I was like in the middle in a place where there was nobody else. So I could make a fool of myself all by myself, and I was pushing it over rocks and boulders and really seeing, what does it take, in this case, to fall over. Anyway, so I sort of succeeded. So that was the mountain biking out of the way. The other high point of today was windsurfing. So after the mountain biking, we promised ourselves we'd go windsurfing. So after a short little break for lunch, we eagerly headed down the windsurfing centre. We got 2 boards out. I think we were 225 board long, and I had a 3.0 sail and my partner had a 2.5. And she was much better at it than I was. Absolutely cruising, zigzagging, tacking left and right. I was tacking full. The only thing I did is I managed to get on the board and go straight ahead with my... we've been taught so far to stand on the board like a snowboard. So you're sort of sitting across the board, not with your feet pointing down the front of the board. But I managed on a couple of occasions to get my feet pointing down towards the front of the board with the sail in my hands, and then obviously you take off like a rocket ship. And then I ended up far too far south down the lake, and it was really difficult to get back again. So if you look at my Garmin track, it's pathetic because, it's like zag, 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 and then I had to come back and it was really difficult to get back, whereas my partner was just like zagging in a much more elegant fashion. Anyway, we had a great time. There was a windsurfing race a bit later on this afternoon, but we thought we wouldn't enter that. There was even a beginner's race. I thought, oh, no, we wouldn't do that. So I did manage the windsurfing, even though my chest was beginning to hurt at the time. When you fall in, the lake is lovely here at Club La Santa that it's so shallow that I didn't even have a shorty on today or any buoyancy aids, and accidentally had my hat on. So when I did fall in, my first thought was, where's my hat? I don't want to lose my hat. But I didn't have any buoyancy aids today, and it's just a lovely lake because there's so many places where it's sort of waist height or chest height. So you don't really have to worry about sort of paddling to stay afloat. You can just concentrate on getting back on the board. But when that happened at several points today, I was in quite a lot of pain because I was pulling myself on. I was pulling myself over this chest and it was flipping hurting. Anyway, enough of my moaning. So after the windsurfing, we went to the famous abs class, the 4 o'clock 6-pack abs class, and we did another grueling 40 minutes or so of punishment. I mean, I again, with the pains in my chest, it probably wasn't that advised, but it's our last day, and I thought, I'm damn well going to finish it. So I did finish it. And then after that, I put in a track session, and my partner went for swimming straight away. So after my 10 laps of the track, because I didn't want to overdo things, and I'm very pleased to say, by the way, that my track time was again down to about 1:45 today. So yesterday it was, or 2 days it was about 1:45 per 400 metres. And then it went up yesterday to about 2 minutes, or 2 minutes 10 even, in one lap, I think. And today it was down at 1 minute 40, to 1 minute 40, 1 minute 50. I think the last lap was 1 minute 42 or something. So I was very pleased that despite all the ailments that, self-generated due to my own, macho stupidity, I did manage to some good run times for me on the track. It was quite windy as well. As a runner, we've always got excuses. And then the last activity before we finish for this season's Club La Santa would be the swim. And I promise you, I did a damn good swim. And you know what? The Garmin watch totally failed me. It registered 0 meters. I stopped it and then started it again a second time. I thought, oh, it's just a fluke. And on the restart, 0. So I swam for like 21, 22 minutes. So I think it was 1,100 meters, but it thought it was 0 meters. So Garmin, I want to complain. My last activity on this Club La Santa fantastic vacation experience has been ruined. Anyway, so it's the end of another day. It's the end of our marvelous vacation here. I can't tell you what a positive experience it is. I think for anyone wanting the ultimate sports holiday in Europe, this has got to be the place. You're in a purpose-built sports complex. There are dozens, 20 or 30 different sports that you can take part in. There's a smartphone app where you book those those activities every day. The price of your accommodation also covers unlimited activities, everything I think except the spa centre and diving. Those are extra charges. But apart from that, you can hire bikes free of charge. You can hire mountain bikes free of charge. There's tennis courts, squash courts. There's the 2 Olympic length swimming pools. You can hire road bikes, mountain bikes. You can get guided sessions, guided tours, introductions to things like mountain biking. We had introduction to TRX. Our friends had introduction to boxing. There's just, if you've always wanted to try a sport and see if you liked it. In our case, for example, windsurfing. We just went and booked it, and then after we booked it, we can then take the windsurfs out by ourselves without any tuition whatsoever after that first introductory session. So it's a great setup here. There's a on-site supermarket. There's on-site laundrette, which with €6 you put the coins in it, just put it in the machine. 30 minutes later, it's finished. So you can wash every day, which is our kind of standard. There's a shop for accessories you might have forgotten to bring, like you can buy a whole new Garmin unit, or you can just buy sports clothing or water bottles. There are multiple restaurants on site if you don't fancy cooking, but via the supermarket and your mini kitchen, we think our option has been to cook most nights and not go to restaurants, and that's both cheaper and fits in with our 99.9% vegan lifestyle. So that's it, diary. It's the end of our Club La Santa experience for the season. If I could wave a magic wand, I'd be back for Christmas, for example. So we'll have to see. Thanks to our friends for coming over and overlapping their holiday with ours. That's made our holiday so much more entertaining. We're so sad that we're on our own for the last day or so because they've returned home and they're back at work and school today, for example. But Liz, Kathy and Jenny, thank you so much for being our welcome and loving company. It has made our holiday even more special. And thanks to the Club La Santa staff who've been hospitable and so helpful at all points. If we wanted anything from reception, if we wanted to ask the cleaning staff to bring us some extra rubbish bags or whatever, they've just done it straight away. So all credit to Club La Santa staff. Their hospitality and friendliness has been top notch. That's it. See you sometime in the future, diary.